AndyCine reached out to me wondering if I wanted to take a look at their A cage for their C6 and C6S monitor. They had previously sent me this monitor to review. I wasn't super keen on getting a cage for it, but then I got to thinking a cage might make for a really handy way to mount a wireless follow focus. So I said, sure, send me that over and I'm gonna put together this little rig here and see if it works. This video is kind of a review or a little bit of a demo of this AndyCine A cage, but it's also kind of a proof of concept and just kind of a walkthrough of setting up a wireless follow focus for budget, I guess, budget shooters. You could be for solo content creator, somebody on YouTube who's filming themselves a lot, or people who are doing maybe like low budget indie filmmaking, really anything. And you might have like a small crew, but don't have a ton of money to spend on more professional gear. About this A cage, it's a pretty basic, bare bones cage that is meant for their C6, C6S, and also the FeelWorld LUT 6 monitor. And I think it retails for around 50 bucks. Really doesn't come with much. It has a cable clamp that you can remove, and there's 2 thumb screws that will clamp down onto the HDMI cable. It should be 4 of them because this monitor has both an HDMI in and an out. So if you had another HDMI cable coming out to another device, then you wouldn't be able to secure that with these screws. You couldn't clamp it. It has a variety of 1/4-20 mounting points. There's 2 on the top here. There's 3 on the bottom. There's a couple on the side where I have the Tilta Nucleus Nano mounted. And there's some over here on this side, and there's also a 3/4 inch mounting thread over here as well. It weighs around 6 ounces, and it's supposedly made from an aluminum alloy. Obviously, if something were to hit the screen, it wouldn't necessarily protect it from that. It does overhang the screen a little bit, but not by a whole lot. And it doesn't really overhang the back of the monitor either. So if this were to fall on its back, I don't know, it wouldn't really offer much protection. So I would say in terms of improvements that AndyCine could make to this little cage would be maybe make it overhang the back a little bit. I know weight would be a concern. And another thing was I would just want it to just be covered with mounting threads. Instead of having them kind of sporadically all around, they should just be everywhere. And instead of having these little cutouts here, which I would imagine are maybe for weight savings, just to have a little bit less material, if it were just to go straight across and just have more mounting threads machined into it, and even maybe some little shoe mount, so you could just use a shoe mount accessory, but as it stands there's only 1/4-20s and 3/4 inch mounting thread on here. If I weren't going to build this rig, then I don't know that I would go for a cage for the monitor, because even though it's only 6 ounces, any little bit of weight is going to add up. So if you're running a handheld, it adds a little bit of bulk and it adds just a little bit of extra weight, and I guess you could just decide for yourself whether that is worth it to you. It does have obviously the clamp for the HDMI cable, so that's a little bit of added security. So that's it for the cage. Let me just talk about this wireless follow focus real quick. Again, this is very much a proof of concept. I only used little pieces that I had lying around. I didn't really want to buy anything, but you could definitely make this a lot more low profile and customize it to work best for you. This is a tripod / grip. This is also from AndyCine. They sent this to me. This is called the, I don't know what it's called. It's a little vlogger tripod from AndyCine. I'll put a link in the description on it. It's really nice. It's made of aluminum and has a nice texture grip to it, so it feels pretty good. And obviously what I like about it is if you're not using this handheld, you can just set it on a table or any other flat surface and then use it yourself to obviously monitor and check your focus from time to time. Another alternative would be to have a side handle. I didn't have an appropriate side handle that would work on this setup, but that would kind of give you a nice, I think it would give you a nice, comfortable grip. I think this grip works pretty well. The biggest problem for this setup that I have right now is just that I didn't have a mounting solution for the receiver that puts it low enough and close enough to the monitor. So it's a little bit tall, makes it a little bit top heavy. The other major con of this setup here is having 2 NP batteries. Obviously adds a lot of weight. But I've seen a wireless transmission system, I'm not sure from what company, but there are some out there that essentially just have like the ability to slot into the NP plate on the back of the monitor And then you can put one NP battery on the back of the transmitter that will power both the monitor and the transmitter, or the receiver in this case. So that would be an ideal solution. I know that AndyCine & Co., if you're not familiar with his channel, I'll put a link in the description, did kind of a similar setup to this, and he did have that wireless transmitter, and you can go check out that video if you want to find out what it is. Great channel as well for budget filmmaking and gear and stuff like that. I think that's everything for this video. I just wanted to show you the cage and also one of the potential use cases for a cage that I thought of anyway. And I will put links in the description for everything that I showed you in this video. They're affiliate links, of course. And if you have any questions, obviously leave them in the comments. And as always, I really appreciate you watching this video. I don't know what my hand is doing. I didn't tell it to do that. It's embarrassing.